Hey, so my name is Matt Kaiser.
Hi,
And this is
hi
David,
David.
and we are working together. I'm Matt, and we are working together on this. So this is our. What is this thing we're making?
Our decapukinator.
Okay, yes, the anti-pukinator.
Yes,
This is basically a device
anti-puking.
we're working on that will feed our cat Carmela on short intervals, so that she doesn't eat too quickly and throw up. Anyway, so here's where we are looking at ways to time food release, basically, in small measured amounts. So we started off with this idea here, and we talked about maybe having like a pair of discs. And essentially, our first concept was we talked about revealing the food, and maybe there was some sort of a disc that would slowly rotate with time, and it would reveal portions that she could eat down below. And that one was that was definitely a thought. Next, we started talking about uh, timers with sort of a cord wrapped around it. Thinking about maybe like a kitchen timer, perhaps, um, and maybe that the timer would turn slowly, and as it turns, here's one down here, maybe it would have some sort of a pin where it would knock marbles down these tracks, and at the bottom they could knock over a cup or open a lid or perform some sort of mechanical operation. We also talked about the idea of having a set of spoons or scoops or something that could slowly turn like a Ferris wheel and shovel food out of a bowl, and maybe it would push it from the bowl into sort of a chute that would then go down and then land someplace where Carmela, our cat, could get at it. We talked about potentially some sort of a crane or spoon, which is related to this, but possibly more independently. Um, then we got thinking about cuckoo clocks and grandfather clocks with weighted pendulums. So if you got some sort of a pendulum that slowly goes down, we thought about it. What if it could flip little switches that would then release scoops of food so that the food then goes down a chute into reach. And as it goes down in time, it could trigger a whole series of these scoops. And we wrote that up here. And so as the pendulum goes down, switches are flipped, and they're hinged. And the more we talked about this, the more that kind of seemed to be the direction that we thought would be smart to go, in order to avoid anything that was electronic, and in order to get the best use of the time and the money and everything that we've got available to us. So we went out shopping today, and we got some clothespins, we got some spoons and things, we got all kinds of stuff here. And we'll talk you through where we are. First of all, we've got two different timers that we're going to experiment with. We got this kitchen timer right here. We got this kitchen timer right here. We believe this is most likely the one that we're going to like to use. And what we might do is take this clothesline pulley and remove it from its axis and glue it to that, so that we've got sort of a pulley that slowly turns. If that puts too much weight on it, then we might instead perhaps use foam core or wood or plastic or something a little bit lighter. We did buy this Seal All, which is a good adhesive that can glue metal to other materials, so we're pretty happy with that. Now looking back at our little diagram here, we had these little flippers here. What we found walking around the store today are these spoons, which are actually extremely light, and we're thinking that we might use them suspended perhaps on a wall, so that as the pendulum goes by, we release the trigger up here, and that will release them so that they can drop food out, hoping that these things aren't too heavy. In order to be able to tie those to the wall, what we got today were these little thingamabobs here, which we will glue to the spoon right about there, so that we can have some sort of a board, maybe a 2x4, maybe a piece of plywood, maybe something else. We've got a bunch of lumber out in the garage we're going to go fish around in, so that this creates a hinge point that we can attach wherever we need to, so that it can be there. Now, to keep the spoon in its horizontal position before it empties its load, we're going to need something out at this end to hold it. And we were wandering around a lot looking for something like that, and we found these clothespins. David, can you open that up for me?
Yeah.
Let's pull one of those out. Let's explain what we're thinking of. We're gonna do with that.
Scissors. There we go. There's a clothespin.
All right. So we're thinking that even just as this is, it's got that great little position right there where we can shoot a screw or a nail or something through it. And that might be just what it needs to hold it straight. We can play with the tension and stuff with that, and that will keep that going. So now, dropping down past this clothespin so that it will release the spoon, we need something to use as weights. And at the hardware store, in the sporting goods section, we found these fishing weights, these sinkers. And so we're going to give those a shot. We do have some kite string kicking around the house, but I think we're going to be trying to do this using this monofilament. This might be too slippery. If it is, we'll get some regular, ordinary cotton string instead, and we'll try that out. We did get some rubber bands. We aren't sure why. We thought we might need to add some springs someplace. We looked at some more expensive springs. Mostly we just want, in our experimentation, to be able to put springs in and a little extra energy wherever we need to. Not sure if we're going to need these or not. We expect they're going to be handy to have around. We also thought we might need to catch the food in something and corral it. We're not sure, so just in case, we saw these inexpensive funnels that we grabbed. And we have a total of 4 spoons. We really like this kind right here best, but they only had 2 of those, and they had 2 of this other kind, which we think might do as well. Hopefully these aren't going to be too heavy. We'll work it out if we need to. And this is, of course, just for, the prototype. And if this doesn't play out too well, who knows? We might try one of these other techniques as well. Now, also just to play with, we got ourselves some cups. Yeah, that spare timer. This is some gaff tape we already had in the house. We've got more of this kicking around if we need it. But we love that stuff. And I think that's about everything that we bought, and that's pretty much our plan. We'll be moving on to that. Anything you want to say?
Nope.
All right. That's it. See ya.